There are devices that you buy because they're powerful, but there are also devices you buy because they're practical. And then you have another category of devices you buy because they make you feel something. It is undeniably that in the past few years we've seen a complete influx of retro-based home consoles from the 90s, even before. We got the Commodore 64, we got the PlayStation 1, and obviously the Nintendo 16-bit. They all did one thing for me, and that's that the majority of them is in the cabinet behind me on a display. They just grab back to something that I maybe enjoy for an hour, hour and a half with some friends, and then I lock them away in a cabinet. But for me there is something different, because Capcom has done something grabbing back to an age that I forgot a bit about. And that is the day that I entered late 90s and in the beginning of the 90s. The arcade hall, the sweaty, crowded arcade hall. Me and the Spielothek in Amsterdam was a combination that even made me skip school a few hours left and right. There is nothing better than the feeling of an arcade hall crowded around these machines, getting the high scores or staying for the win. So today I want to talk about a device that I absolutely love. The Capcom Home Arcade. It released already in November 2019, and this isn't just hardware. This is nostalgia, history coming to life. And if you've ever stood in that arcade hall, this one is for you. But if you just want a quick glance, a peek in the kitchen of the 90s, then this one is for you as well. Let's get into it. So let's start with the overall look of the device, because for me it actually makes a statement. It is completely shaped in the Capcom logo itself. And if I'm talking about the materials, yes, there is a price point involved, obviously, but it really translates to the fact that this is a really well-built machine with good qualities. It's got those soft plastic on the edge, not that hard, I would say cheap looking or feeling plastic. It also feels, it's not heavy, but you do feel that there is a good use of materials that actually matter. The overall plexiglass with the Capcom logo in it, the material used for the joysticks and for the buttons, it all feels really, really solid. And for me, it tells me that it wasn't designed by accident, actually thought was put into this. It's bold, unapologetic, doesn't try to look minimal or modern. It looked like something that belongs in an arcade hall, not hidden away in a TV cabinet. I even saw a clip of someone, I can't find it. If you can find it, please send it to me. A guy's made an arcade cabinet and he has put that thing in the middle in the same shape so it really fits in. It absolutely looked fantastic. I was actually thinking on how the hell do I make things myself and build it myself. But anyways, the big surface, the artwork, the buttons, the joystick, everything screams, this is for playing games the old school way. I don't boot this one up casually or accidentally. With these things, it was just one time and it's over. This one regularly, finds its place under my monitor to play a few games. Let's start with something that makes this device shine, but also it does fail a bit on this department. But let's get into it. You get 16 classic games from that fantastic era. These are not random picks, they're absolute legends. They dominated that area, and there is a very curated list of absolute legends. Let's go through them, because this, by original release year, I can't memorize them all. Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, Street Fighter 2 The New Challengers, Darkstalkers The Night Warriors, Eco Fighters, Final Fight, Ghouls and Ghosts. Absolutely freaking love that game, Ghouls and Ghosts. 1944 The Luke Master Strider, Armed Warriors Captain Commando, Cyberbot Full Metal Madness, just smashing robots into each other, always fun. Mega Man The Power Battle, that is an absolute king when you're playing with your friend. Just fantastic just to kill some time there. Pro Gear, Fart Operation Thunderstorm, Warriors of Fate. So this lineup covers fighters, beat 'em up, shooters and arcade action. These are the games that defined an era. They're not just emulated loosely, they feel tight, responsive, very authentic, but, and this is where it fails a bit, these 16 games are the only ones you get. Really, truly. And that's it for now. It already released back in 2019 and no update has been pushed yet. You can hook it up to your Wi-Fi for scoreboards and global leaderboards. They have the ability to push an update towards this machine. And Capcom has a huge library of these games that are built on the CPS-1 and CPS-2 architecture of that time. I think rounded about 70 games in total that are able to run on this machine. So I really hope that future updates, Capcom, if you can hear me, one can only hope. Now, this is the part that's maybe a bit hard to explain, but if you get it, it's easy to feel. When you stand in front of the Capcom Home Arcade, I immediately have to touch it because the device, the way it looks, it shapes and what it brings, and the games you don't see a lot anymore, actually makes you lean in and rest your hands on the controls. And when you hear the music, the downside is here, and this is a disclaimer as well for this video, I am unable to record it with the video of the device itself. Capcom has already struck one video I made about it, and on the other side, if you hook it up to a capture card, it just refuses to push that signal forward, and you can't change that, you can't undermine that security label that's on it. That's just the thing that is, but if you can choose the music or the retro music or the music from the games that if you hover on them, then you will hear the music of the games. It's absolutely fantastic, and suddenly you're back in the 90s, right? I can still hear those crowded arcade hall, neon lights, coins on the cabinet, waiting your turn and watching someone better than you, and that's where this thing shines. If you play this with a couple of friends, it's absolutely a blast. The device recreates that physical ritual of arcade gaming. You're not lounging on a couch, you're playing. And for me, that changes everything with this device, and especially the games that it brings. It also makes me step away from the controller to play a Street Fighter and relive that magic with those controls on this machine. So let's quickly come back to the build quality because I want to touch upon a few points. It's a heavy base. We discussed the sturdy materials and the use of the more softer, more luxurious plastic, if you will. And the high-grade arcade style buttons. So the joysticks with real resistance, they feel massively accurate, are the Sanwa, and I just wrote it down here in my notes, GLF sticks with buttons. I always forget that name. But Sanwa also supplies to arcade halls. So they are very well known in the market, and they are considered to be top range in build quality, durability, and accuracy. So it's an absolutely strong decision to go for these materials and for these components. Nothing on this device feels cheap. With this, I actually have a feeling that this is pretty cheap. It's pretty shallow, there's nothing much to go for. It looks okay-ish, I guess, but on the other side, this one really knocks it out of the ballpark with the use of materials. Nothing flexes. This is not a toy, and that feels like a toy. This doesn't really feel like a toy. If it's in my cabinet, everybody will pass it. If I put this one on a display, everybody just automatically and instinctively want to touch it, want to see it, and want to know what it is. This feels like a piece of arcade equipment scaled for home use, and Capcom clearly understood that arcade fans care about feel just as much as they care about visuals. We've already touched upon the fact that it shines in the department of the games, but it also fails a bit in the department of the games. Yes, 16 true legendary games. Too bad that since 2019 we haven't seen an update or added more of those games to this platform. The same goes actually for the connections. You got an HDMI out, you got a USB for the power, and that's basically it. You also have one very questionable external USB type of port that is a complete mystery to me what it does, but the only thing you will need is an HDMI out and a power cable. That's it. There is no online play, no downloadable games, no endless menus. Honestly, it feels intentionally, I must say. The device isn't trying to be a modern console, it's trying to be an arcade cabinet experience. Plug it in, turn it on, play, no distractions. Yes, that's fine, but the restrictions also come with a price. As I told you guys, if you let the HDMI run to a capture card, it fails to process and push forward the signal to your streaming platform, your streaming software. So you're unable to stream. This is why it will not let you stream, record the gameplay. That might be a setback for some of you watching this. So wrapping up this fanboy type of video, the question is, who is this for? If you look more on graphics, online play, constant updates, no, it's not for you. No, it's an experience packaged in a very nice package. But if you grew up in arcades, love classic Capcom games, value nostalgia done right, and appreciate these physical controls, this device feels special. It's not about convenience, it's about connection. So we're gradually going into these final thoughts right now, and there are a few pointers to make here. The menu is absolutely clunky, slow, sometimes a bit frustrating. The Wi-Fi can stop working sometimes. Doesn't affect your gameplay. It does affect that you can't watch leaderboards, and on the other side, it affects the setting up. Sometimes it can be a pain. It doesn't happen to everyone all the time constantly, but sometimes the Wi-Fi just dropped, and if you're in the middle of the setup process with the latest firmware updates, all these things, then it might be a pain. There are no extra games added on top of the amount of games that you get right out of the box. And since it's already released in 2019, unfortunately, I don't expect anything major. For me, it's absolutely fine because I'm having a blast with this machine. Just like the 90s, they have a very steep learning curve. Skill is pretty high, or the skill level is pretty high. That's the 90s. Nothing is being explained to you, drops you in, figure it out, and try and see how far you can go. I'm having a blast with these type of games. It's not really laid back, casual, oh, it's being explained to me. No, this is the 90s, this is the way that worked at that time. I absolutely love it. The Capcom Home Arcade is just not just a game device. It's a memory machine for me, a celebration of arcade history, a reminder of where modern gaming came from. Sometimes it's exactly what gaming should be. I'm just anxious from you guys to hear, are you into these retro type of consoles? Have you played this Capcom device yet? Did you know it existed at all? Leave it in the comments. I'm very anxious to hear what you guys think. And that's a final question I want to ask all of you. What is the game that defined your childhood? I'm going back further than this machine. It's Jumpman Jump on the Commodore 64. It's the first game I actually tied into and was obsessed with to get to the next level. I'm actually curious to hear, what's the first game that you guys played and what defined your childhood? For now, I hope you enjoyed this video. Moment 6 out. See you on the battlefield.